পৃষ্ঠা ৩০৬ continued. 7. Paragraphs on sports and games. Some expressions conducive to writing paragraphs on sports and games. 1. All work and no play makes a jack a dull boy. খেলাধুলা ছাড়া শুধুমাত্র পড়াশোনা মানুষকে নির্বোধ করে দেয়। 2. Play encourages children to participate, socialize, cooperate and team up. অংশগ্রহণ, সামাজিক মেলামেশা, সহযোগিতা এবং দলগত কাজে খেলাধুলা উৎসাহিত করে। 3. Play allows children to experiment with situations and toughens them up physically and mentally. খেলাধুলো শিশুদের নানা রকম পরিস্থিতিতে শারীরিকভাবে ও মানসিকভাবে শক্তিশালী করে তোলে। My favorite game. Points. Introduction. Why football, not cricket, is my favorite. Delightful to watch. Conclusion. Games encourage children to participate, socialize, cooperate and team up. Games allow them to experiment with situations and toughen them up physically and mentally. Like every Bengali, I too have a craze for football. It is my passion. All work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. This is a reality. According to me, it is the most interesting and exciting game. No other game involves us much thrill and excitement. Even cricket is not as exciting as football. Football is a body contact game and there is constant action. 11 players, a team battle to score goals. 11 players, a team battle to score goals within usually 90 minutes and a referee conducts the game. The game of football develops in a player-team spirit, endurance and quickness of reflexes. It involves more speed and physical agility than any other game. Being a body contact game, it acts as a stimulus to the intrepid spirit of youth. The dribbling and the diagonal passes delight not only me, but also all the spectators. The spectators get involved unknowingly with the game, becoming active participants. When a skilled player like Lionel Messi or Cristiano Ronaldo is with the ball, he is a sheer delight to watch. With the slightest touch of a foot, they score and the stadium erupts. The disappointment and satisfaction are equally intense. This very intensity helps me to forget the drudgery of my life for at least 90 minutes. Word notes. Participate, যোগদান করা। Socialize, সামাজিকভাবে মিশতে পারা। Cooperate, সহযোগিতা করা। Endurance, সহ্য ক্ষমতা। Tussle, হাতাহাতি, ধস্তাধস্তি করা। Stimulus, প্রেরণাদায়ক। Intrepid, সাহসী, নির্ভীক। Drudgery, একঘেয়ে, খাটুনি। A football match. Points. Introduction, description of the game, skill of the key players, conclusion. To see a football match is always an exciting experience for football lovers. They forget the drudgeries of daily existence for the hour. Passion for football is in my blood. The other day I saw a football match between Kamarpukur RK Mission MP School and Jairambati Ramkrishna Sharoda Vidyapit. The match started at 4 p.m. Kamlesh Sen, the centre forward of Kamarpukur RK Mission High School, flew ahead with the ball. He received support from the left winger Shoubhik. He was closely chased by the defence of Jairambati Ramkrishna Sharoda Vidyapit, but he tackled them with an elegant dodge. He made a pass near the goal, but none of his teammates were in the correct position. He shuffled his position continuously and tried to open the goal account. When Kamlesh was creating magic with the football at his feet, he was a sheer delight to watch. The goalkeeper of Jairambati Ramkrishna Sharoda Vidyapit made some excellent saves. At last, Kamlesh drew first blood for his team in 18 minutes with a header. Jairambati's team tried hard for an equalizer, but there was no scorer in his team to net a goal. In the 23rd minute, Kamarpukur's team was awarded a penalty. Deepak, their stopper, fired the second from the penalty kick. The breakthrough for Jairambati school came after the interval. Jairambati's right winger Rajesh ran an excellent solo run through the right wing. He passed the ball diagonally. Promothesh, a player of Jairambati team, received the ball. He pushed forward to Dipten, the striker of his team, and the shot went home. The margin for his side reduced was in the 30th minute. It seemed that the game would end in a draw. Towards the end of the game, Kamlesh swerved past a rushing defender and lashed a left foot drive into the corner of the net. With the goal, the match was over. Kamarpukur's team won the game by 3-1. The applause of the supporters of Kamarpukur RK Mission MP School filled the air. There was a wild cheering on their side. Jairambati Ramkrishna Sharoda Vidyapit team looked sad. Kamlesh was declared man of the match. The players, Prishta 307, left the ground. The crowd thinned away. I went home in a jubilant mood. My school team had won the match. What a joy! Word notes: drew first blood, প্রাণ সঞ্চার করল, swerved, গতিপথ পরিবর্তন করল, jubilant, উল্লসিত. A cricket match that you have enjoyed. Cricket is a gentleman's game. Two teams of 11 players confront each other. The umpire tosses a coin. The winner of the toss chooses either to bat or field first. The side which scores more runs wins. 6 deliveries are made in an over. The other day I witnessed a cricket match between our school 11 and the town club in our playground. There was a huge gathering. The sun shone bright. The outfield was green, but the wicket was hard. The match began at 10 a.m. Our school team won the toss and selected to bat. 2 openers were out in the field. Amol, the captain of our team, was one of them, and another was Robin. He played some glorious pull shots and cover drives. They made 70 in the opening partnership. Bimal was sent on to replace Robin. Amol and Bimal kept the scoreboard ticking along nicely with some aggressive running between the wickets. 3 hours passed by. Amol scored a century, and his batting was a sheer delight to watch. He treated the town club bowling with utter disdain. After he was run out, wickets fell at regular intervals, though the scoreboard kept moving. The total score was 270 all out. Then the town club went in at 2:30 p.m. The captain of the town club was a prolific scorer. He showed his class by scoring an elegant 60. His steady little innings was over when he was out caught behind. But the other players could not play very well. Their scoring rate was also very slow. Their innings stood at 180 runs when they had used up their allotted overs. So our school team won by 90 runs. We jumped with joy. We jumped with joy and hugged each other in jubilation. Amol, the captain of our team, was declared the man of the match. It was the perfect end to a perfect day. Word notes: confront, সম্মুখীন হওয়া, aggressive, আগ্রাসী, prolific, প্রচুর পরিমাণে উৎপাদনশীল, disdain, উপেক্ষা, elegantly, সুরুচিপূর্ণভাবে. My favorite player. Points: introduction, role as a skipper, as an opener, as a bowler, as a leader, consistency, comfortable among fans. Conclusion. Sourav Ganguly was once the king of Indian cricket. He has retired from international cricket, but he is my most favorite cricketer. The reasons are obvious. He led India to a convincing victory against South Africa in a one-day series when India had been reeling under a string of defeats. This victory inspired the talented Indian team. Sourav was always a special batsman, but he now proved that he had the vision of a great leader. He cannot be assessed by statistics only. He cannot be evaluated in terms of the runs he scored on the wickets, he claimed. As an opener, he could anchor the innings with comfort. We found that when he reverted to pinch hitting in one-day matches, he was comfortable too. In tests, he was a left-handed middle-order batsman. He was endowed with the silken touch in his offside play. As a bowler, he was also a wicket-taker. He could move the new ball both ways, but there is no denying that he had some limitations as a fielder. As a leader, he always displayed a positive attitude. He kept his chin up and inspired his players to do the same. Very few Indian cricketers before him played the game so aggressively. Even in an adverse situation, his leadership reflected a lot of positive attitude. Off the field, he always had time for his fans and well-wishers. Sourav was the media's delight. He always talked straight from his heart. He is an icon and a constant source of inspiration for a million of cricketers in a country where cricket is a religion. Word notes: convincing, প্রত্যয়জনক, রিলিং, টলমল করেছিল, অ্যাসেস্ট, যাচাই করেছিল, স্ট্যাটিস্টিক্স, পরিসংখ্যান, অ্যাগ্রেসিভলি, আগ্রাসন, অ্যাডভার্স, প্রতিকূল, আইকন, আদর্শ মূর্তি, value of sports or necessity of physical fitness. Points: introduction, importance of fitness. Conclusion. The word sport, S-P-O-R-T, may be said to stand for 5 elements: sincerity, punctuality, obedience, regularity, and tenacity. These are also the essential qualities of a person to prosper in life. Thus, sport is a way to physical fitness and it has an important role in man's life. The The proverb runs, quote, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, unquote. Sports and games refreshes us and supplies fresh vigor. It makes someone physically fit and mentally alert. It must be remembered that wealth or education is of little use to a person who suffers from ill health. So sports or physical exercise is a must, but over-exercise and wrong choice of exercise may be harmful. In this respect, the advice of an expert in physical education is quite useful. Sports and exercises help us to remain fit and live longer. They shape and tone our bodies. Walking and deep breathing are also good exercises. A few minutes and a small open space are enough for it. The importance of sports and games have been emphasized by medical science. Sport is an excellent source of recreation. It freshens our mind and enlivens our spirit. There are different kinds of sports like football, पृष्ठ 308, cricket, athletics, swimming, tennis, etc. Even some indoor sports like table tennis or badminton keep body fit, while playing chess increases one's intelligence and concentration. So games and sports have a great importance in man's life. They help to improve the quality of our life. It also improves our skill, spirit of discipline, sense of cooperation and team spirit. A true sportsman accepts both triumph and defeat in good grace. Great sports personalities like Roger Federer, Lionel Messi and Sachin Tendulkar are icons for millions of young people. They are also the ambassadors of goodwill and cooperation that sports ensure. Word notes: tenacity, dhoirjo, enthusiasm, utshaho, uddipana, ambassadors, dut brindo. 8. Miscellaneous. Friendship. Points: a bond among persons, need of friendship, choice of friends, things that help friendship exist. Friendship is a bond of relationship based on mutual trust and respect. It means close association of any two persons without having any evil motive or selfish greed. We, social beings, cannot live alone. We must have companions with whom we can share our joys and sorrows. We need friends to open our heart on all occasions. Without friends, our life becomes dull. But it is not wise to trust everyone who professes to be our friend. Such companions who exhibit empathy in joy and woe can be regarded as friends. It is rather strange that we are not much cautious about choice of friends. The result is that Most friendship proves folly. It is true that prosperity brings friends and adversity tries them. When darkness overshadows our life, most of the companions fly away like a flock of seasonal birds. This adversity helps us to recognize our true and sincere friends. So we must be particularly careful about those warm weather friends. A true friend must be sincere, truthful, trustworthy, and sensitive to friends' thoughts and feelings. A good friend is a guide who stands by us in shine and shade. A true friend is a good critic and philosopher. Word notes: mutual trust, পারস্পরিক বিশ্বাস, ডাল, নিষ্প্রাণ, on all occasions, সব পরিস্থিতি, folly, মূর্খামি, seasonal, মরশুমি, adversity, প্রতিকূলতা, trustworthy, বিশ্বাসযোগ্য, sensitive, সংবেদনশীল. Your favorite season or the season you like most. Points: cyclic change of seasons. The season I like most. Spring, Bengali months of Falgun and Chaitra. Duration short. Appeal great. Kakku messenger. Nature looks beautiful. New leaves came out. New leaves come out. Birds sing. Flowers bloom. Dol Jatra and Holi. Bashanti Puja. Festive mood. Weather fine. The sky clear. Welcome spring. Nature in India is beautiful because of the taste of the variety that the cyclic change of the seasons brings. That the cyclic change of the seasons brings. We have 6 seasons, each one lasting for 2 months. Of all the seasons, I like spring most. It is called the king of seasons. After the biting cold of winter, spring comes with a new look. The Bengali months of Falgun and Chaitra are generally regarded as the spring in Bengal. Its duration is short, but its appeal is great. The Kakku heralds the advent of spring in nature. Its sweet song touches every heart and fills every heart with joy. With the joy of a new life, nature gradually changes her dress. New leaves come out and trees and plants are in full bloom. The weather is fresh and charming. Birds sing and the flowers exhale sweet fragrance. The Dol Jatra or the festival of Holi and the Bashanti Puja are the main festivals of this season. Spring is dear to all. It has neither the scorching heat of summer nor the damp humidity of the rainy season. The sky looks wonderful. Various types of fruits and vegetables are available in this season. So the advent of spring gladdens our hearts and we heartily welcome spring for its manifold blessings. Word notes: biting cold, চরম ঠান্ডা, অ্যাপিল আবেদন, হেরাল্ডস ঘোষণা করে, অ্যাডভেন্ট আবির্ভাব, এক্সেল ছাড়ে, হিউমিডিটি আর্দ্রতা, ম্যানিফোল্ড নানাবিধ. Duties and responsibilities of a student. Points: introduction, need of consciousness, duties of students, awareness of socio-political condition, need to avoid active politics. Conclusion: a student may not have to bear the burden of his or her family, but he or she has to perform a number of duties and responsibilities. These duties and responsibilities do not hamper his or her studies but help in his or her all round development. Our country is troubled by evils like communalism, casteism, superstitions, and regionalism. To fight against such evils, students can play a vital role. A student can actively work to uproot illiteracy, spread consciousness about health, hygiene, and sanitation among the poor people in slums. He or she can work collectively through national service schemes and other organizations for rural upliftment by helping them to set up cooperative societies. A student can fight against the exploitation of poor villagers and show them the way in getting easy access to bank loans and other facilities of savings. He can also take part in relief operations during the time of flood and famine. Students are the future citizens of the country. Prishtha 309. They must have political consciousness and must be aware of the socio-political condition of his country, but he or she must not actively get involved with politics at this stage, for it will distract them from studies. Dabbling in politics is not the objective of a student. His or her foremost duty is to lead a disciplined life, develop good habits, and acquire knowledge. Only then he or she can be a living force of the society and become a model citizen of his or her country. Word notes: hamper বাধা দেওয়া, কমিউনালিজম সাম্প্রদায়িকতা, ড্যাবলিং শৌখিনভাবে চর্চা করা, কাস্টিজম জাতিভেদ, মডেল আদর্শ, রিজিওনালিজম প্রাদেশিকতা, স্যানিটেশন স্বাস্থ্য ব্যবস্থা, স্বাস্থ্য বিধান. Population explosion in India. Points: introduction, causes, remedies sought, conclusion. Population explosion is a global problem, but it is assuming an alarming proportion in India. India is the most populous state after China, 1281 million. According to latest census, population of India is 1027 millions. Such a huge population, instead of becoming a national asset, has become a national liability. Religious beliefs and lack of education are the most important causes for overpopulation. More children do not mean more workers for the future, but more people without work and more mouths to feed. The poor people, being unconscious about the dangers and threats of population, have a tendency to give birth to more children. But unfortunately, the situation worsens because they fail to provide proper nutrition and education to the children. Though the government has taken plans and strategies for economic development, the growth of population has upset all plans. India at present has 1/6 of the world's population. Its population will be reaching 1.6 billion by 2050. This means that there would be grave concerns about basic needs like food, water, health, and housing. Under the circumstances, immediate remedy is needed to meet the problem of population explosion. In India, consciousness is needed foremost to control the population outburst. Family planning must be promoted, especially among low-income groups. Illiteracy must be driven away from the country. Besides, the government should also take serious steps to stop migration and influx of refugees from neighboring countries like Myanmar, Nepal, Sri Lanka, and Bangladesh. Otherwise, the choice between controlling population or perpetuating poverty in our country will become more difficult. Word notes: liability দায়, migration পরিযান, influx লোকজনের ক্রমাগত আগমন, পারপিচুয়েটিং চিরস্থায়ী, রেফিউজিস শরণার্থী, পপুলাস জনবহুল। The night before an examination. Points: introduction, tension, parents try to ease the tension, conclusion. Examination is something that always evokes fear in our mind. It makes us feel nervous. As it approaches nearer, our heart beats faster. We inevitably feel that our preparations are not sound. I experienced the same before my Madhyamik examination. It was my first public examination, and initially I was excited. My parents had a lot of expectation, and I was sure that I would be performing quite well. But as days passed, my excitement turned into fear and apprehension. On the evening before my English examination, I was quite restless. I could not decide what to read. My father, who is a teacher by profession, advised me to relax lest I should forget what I have studied. I went through the texts first and then felt that I must practice some grammar. Soon I changed my mind and decided to read some suggested paragraphs. My tension grew when I felt dissatisfied with what I had written. My mother offered me some tea so that it might energize me. My father asked me to do some meditation. I followed his advice and felt better. I just browsed my study materials and did not try out anything new. Before going to bed, I prayed to God to help me in retaining my composure. I felt much better. I saw the news headlines in the television as a part of my routine, then put out the lights and went to bed. Thankfully, the earthly fears of examination did not torment me, and I had a good sleep without nightmare. Word notes: evoke উৎপন্ন করে, agitated উত্তেজিত, inevitably অবশ্যম্ভাবী ভাবে, jumbled up তালগোল পাকিয়ে গেল, nightmares দুঃস্বপ্ন. Your experiences in an examination hall. Points: introduction, situation in the hall at the commencement of exams, invigilator enters and anxiety of the examinees, every examinee busy in writing, conclusion. A student has an inseparable relationship with examination. Examination evokes tension, fear, and apprehensions. But when the hour arrives, a student shakes off his fears and concentrates on answering the questions. To a student, examinations are nothing new, but my first day in the examination hall during the Madhyamik examination was very different from the usual. The students inside the hall were taking their seats. They looked tense. It was the mathematics examination, and most of the students appeared nervous. Some students were going through the geometrical theorems and problems. The bell rang. We gathered all books and bags and kept them outside in the corridor before taking our seats. The invigilators came and there was a hushed silence. Answer scripts were distributed. We were asked to write our roll numbers, Prishta 310, and names properly. Our hearts were beating wildly. When the question papers were distributed, there were some mixed emotions and feelings. Some of us were ecstatic and were thanking God, while some looked dejected. For my part, I went through the question paper and found it quite satisfactory. The bell rang again and the exam started. For the next 2 hours, I was pursued by Time's winged chariot and did not have a breathing space to look at others. However, after a couple of hours, there was a turmoil. Two students had smuggled cheats of answers and were caught red handed. The invigilator threatened them with severe punishment. The students begged pardon. One even started crying. Finally, the examiner warned them sternly and let them off. But he cautioned that on the repetition of the crime, they would be expelled. I concentrated on the concluding part of the question paper. Everyone was writing at feverish speed. When the final bell rang, the invigilators collected the answer scripts. Ultimately, everything ended on a happy note, and for my part, I cast a sigh of relief at the successful completion of a vital examination. Word notes: inseparable, অবিচ্ছেদ্য, ecstatic, উচ্ছ্বসিত, আনন্দে, dejected, বিমর্ষ, মনমরা, turmoil, বিশৃঙ্খলা, গণ্ডগোল, expelled, বহিষ্কার করা হলো। A festival you enjoy. Points: name of the festival, season, time of the year, how it is celebrated, your feelings. Durga Puja is the most important festival of the Bengalis. Friends and family members unite and celebrate it together. The Durga Puja conjures up an image of complete happiness. All class and caste divisions disappear as people descend on the streets to celebrate. Kolkata is decked in gorgeous colors. When autumn comes after the rains, my heart leaps up in joy. The sky becomes blue and all nature seems to smile. The sweet fragrance of shiuli fills the air. The weather is pleasant. In English calendar, the Durga Puja is held generally in October. The puja has its real beginning on the day of Shoshti with the invocation of the goddess, but the enjoyment begins on Shaptami. I hear with deep devotion the mantra chanted by the priest. We all stand there to see the ceremony of Arati. We then offer flowers to the goddess and pray for health and prosperity. In the evening, the priest performs the evening Arati. The next day, the puja is performed as on the Shaptami day. At about midnight, we are roused from sleep to see the Sandhi Puja. This puja has to be performed within a very short time. So the priest recites the mantras with unusual rapidity. On Navami, the goddess is worshipped with due spirit. These 3 days are spent in great joy and mirth. Time flies. There seems music in the air, in the skies. Finally, Dashami comes. A few hours before sunset, the priest chants mantras. The drummers reach a crescendo of rapid beats. I imagine that the Great Mother is crying. After sunset, the idol is immersed in the river. We then touch the feet of the elders and embrace our friends. Sweets are distributed. Every Durga Puja leaves us emotionally drained, but there is something in the Visarjan music reminds me that such a festive occasion will come again next year. Word notes: conjures কল্পনায় কোনো দৃশ্য চিত্রিত করা, ডেকড সাজানো হয়, ফ্রেগ্রেন্স সুগন্ধ, প্রসপারিটি সাফল্য, মার্থ আনন্দোচ্ছল, ক্রেসেন্ডো ক্রমশ উচ্চস্বরে বাজছে এমন সঙ্গীতাংশ, ইমার্সড বিসর্জন দেওয়া হলো।